In today's video, we are doing monthly favorites, and I cannot believe that we are already almost into October. But September is such a fun month, and there's so much exciting anticipation toward autumn and Halloween and all of the holidays. And I have acquired quite a few things that I have really loved with all of my heart this month, so I'm really excited to share them with you. Today's video will probably be a little bit shorter than my other ones. I plan to do a video next week about a seasonal depression survival guide of sorts. So just things that have helped ground me in the changing of the seasons. I know a lot of people get sad when the sun sets really early. I'm kind of the opposite. I really enjoy when the sun goes down early. I like cold and rain and clouds, but I still think that there are things that I've kind of learned to do over the years that will help you. So I'm hoping that will help you too. I use a lot of these tools and tactics and rituals over like the really hot summer and spring months. Spring's kind of nice, but yeah, I think I'll do that next week. So that's something to look forward to. But for today, let's do monthly favorites, and then if I have time to film anything else, I will include it. I am so excited to be partnering with Skillshare on this video. As many of you know, I have been writing constantly between my Substack and the early stages of a book project. Writing has really become the center of my life, but even when you love it, it's very easy to get lost in fragments and drafts. They have a bunch of different classes to choose from, but I chose the creative writing courses. The one that I chose in particular is called Crafting Personal Essays with Impact, taught by Roxane Gay, as well as Lisa Ko's class on writing fiction and crafting compelling plots. Both courses have really given me new ways to shape my work, whether it's bringing structure to my narrative or bringing clarity to messy ideas. Like I said, they don't just have classes for writers, they have thousands of courses across art and illustration, animation, photography, graphic design, productivity, and more. And it really feels like every creative avenue is covered no matter what you want to explore. Skillshare is about building a real practice and learning directly from world-class creators who really know what it means to live the work of a creative person. So the first 500 people to use the link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen will receive 1 month free trial of all things Skillshare. So get started today. I haven't really done a reading wrap-up with you guys in a while, but there are 3 books that I want to share with you today. And the first one is The Consolation of Philosophy. And this book is wild when you remember that it was written in prison while he was awaiting to be executed. And he basically invents a dialogue with Lady Philosophy, who shows up to tell him not to despair. And the central point of this whole book is that fortune turns like a wheel, and the only thing that you can really rely on is your own virtue and this alignment that you have with the divine good. But at the same time, there's something that is a little too put together about this book that kind of bothered me. Boethius is staring death like straight in the face, but yet philosophy comes across as very controlled and almost sterile and sanitized, and you don't feel the full messiness of the fear of grief, and it's more like a perfectly reasoned answer to it. So I don't know, it is a little bit comforting, but it also feels a bit detached in that way. That tension is what makes the book both powerful, but also kind of frustrating. But overall, I really did enjoy this. I almost waited till October to read this, but I didn't. This is The Castle of Otranto, and this one is often called the first Gothic novel, and it really reads like a blueprint for everything that came after it. There's like creepy castles and family curses and just, I don't know, supernatural intrusions. In the opening alone, there's this like giant helmet that literally falls out of the sky and crushes somebody, and it really just sets the tone for the whole book. It's very over the top and melodramatic and sometimes ridiculous, but I think that that's kind of like the point. The author was really experimenting with how far he could push romance against the clean rationalism of the Enlightenment. And as a novel, it feels a little bit clumsy. The characters are not super deep, and the plot kind of like lurches from one wild event to another. but as a cultural moment, it's quite fascinating. And it basically opens the door for Gothic fiction as a space where anxieties and irrational fears and repressed desires can really play out. And without it, you wouldn't get Frankenstein or Dracula. So in a sense, like, while it's not good in a polished sense, this book, like, is essential in terms of influence for Gothic literature. Now, in this, I read The Inferno, which is the first part of the Divine Comedy, and it's the one that everybody knows, even if they haven't read it. It's basically the descent through hell, the guided tour of sin and punishment. And I think what makes it so striking is not that it's just a horror, like a horror show of torments. It's deeply like a moral map and a way for Dante to categorize human behavior and its consequences. And each circle is very precise and almost legalistic, but also deeply poetic. And the punishments are symbolic expressions and extensions of the sins themselves. I think that's what makes it like feel like a moral universe that is rendered as art. So as literature, it's quite groundbreaking because Dante writes in Italian rather than Latin, which makes it accessible and it gives legitimacy to the vernacular of this whole book. The imagery is also unforgettable. The frozen lake of traitors, the storm that sweeps the lustful Satan chewing endlessly at Judas and Brutus. And it's a book that shaped not only poetry, but the way that people really visualize hell, which is fascinating. But it's also kind of messy in the best way. Dante really inserts his own political grudges and puts rivals, even popes, into damnation. There is this pettiness that makes the poem oddly human in a way, and it kind of undercuts the grand theology with this personal score setting. And I don't know, depending on your lens, I think the moral structure can feel rigid or even cruel. The idea that people are eternally locked up into punishment without hope of redemption is quite brutal, but still that mix of personal passion and political commentary, theology, and sheer imaginative power is really what makes this book endure throughout the years. It's not just a vision of hell, it's really a vision of how poetic processes really are instilled in his world, which is half cosmic judgment, half personal catharsis. I guess, reading these side by side, they feel like three different strategies for handling chaos and mortality. Boethius really insists on reason and order when life collapses, and Walpole really embraces excess and irrationality to expose hidden fears, whereas Dante builds this entire architecture of judgment and half cosmic law, half personal vendetta. There's order, disorder, and moral vision. Really three ways of making sense of what can't really be made sense of. I really did enjoy reading these, just despite the criticisms. I thought that they were very entertaining, and this was absolutely necessary. It's been on my TBR for a really long time, so I highly recommend them. I'm going to move into fragrances now, and I'm going to start with my favorite of the month, and that is Sycamore by Chanel, which is an absolute masterpiece of vetiver. It's very dry and smoky and woody. There's cypress, tobacco. It feels like walking through a forest in autumn. There's resin and damp soil and smoke, and it feels very elegant, but also intellectual. And it's not too heavy-handed. Like, some of the exclusives are bold. It's like Le Lion, you can smell from 3 miles away. There's a lot of restraint to this, which makes it so complex and uncluttered. I think if most vetivers are sharp and grassy, Sycamore leans very shadowy and introspective, and it hits all the right notes, no pun intended. I love Gabar as a fragrance house, and they generously sent me Galone, which is their newest scent. This one surprised me, and I loved it. It's caramel, sesame, dates, and Szechuan pepper. It's gourmand, but it's not sticky sweet. The sesame and the pepper just make it so lively and almost savory, and it feels modern and playful, but there's so much depth, like dessert at a very high-end restaurant, like where the chef sneaks in unexpected spices. And this, I think that this is really for people who don't usually like gourmands, and it works because it's so different and it's very addictive, very strong, perfect for autumn and winter. I just really started wearing Tahota almost addictively. I feel addicted to this perfume. This is the definition of vanilla and musk. This is at its core what a vanilla should smell like. It's very soft and creamy and skin-like, and it's so stunning in the first hour, but like the development of this fragrance and how it dries down is so addictive. It feels like a second skin of somebody who you love like more than anybody in this entire world. I don't know how to explain the way that this makes me feel, but like I have been spraying it like right before bed, and then I wake up in the morning, and when I get out of bed, it's like I am just enveloped in this little vanilla cloud, and it feels like a warm hug. I cannot recommend this enough. If you are a vanilla hater, this will convert you, I promise. It is the purest vanilla that you will ever smell. Okay, lastly is Bois de Balancourt by Maison Louise Marie, number 4. I've been sleeping on this for a really long time because this is not a new fragrance, and I just acquired this. This is often compared to Santal 33 by Le Labo, and I definitely see the similarities, especially with the sandalwood. There is also cedar and vetiver and amberwood. It's very clean, but it's slightly spicy, slightly creamy. It's very approachable, but also comforting. And I don't know, it's not super groundbreaking, but it just feels like a very solid fall scent to add to your repertoire. I think that's why everybody loves this scent. I just think the universality is just, I don't know, it's perfect. I think even if you've smelled a lot of like niche woods, this is still a really good, easy, everyday autumnal scent. Okay, we're moving into candles. This is Byredo Chai. I think this is like my new favorite fall candle. It feels like comfort. It's masala chai, cardamom, clove, ginger. There's also incense, smoky woods. There's birch, gaiac, and it's just like a warm chai latte. And it's very creamy. It's not too sharp, but it just feels enveloping, like you're curling up in a blanket. And I don't know, there is a savory element to this, and I don't know how to, like, I can't put a name to what it is, but it is so comforting. It is the perfect fall candle if you're like, I don't want pumpkin, but I want cozy. This is a really good choice. I'm very picky when it comes to incense because I don't like yoga studio type incensey smells, but I do love Aesop, and this is the Kaguru incense from Aesop. It's very green and woody. There's vetiver. There's this Japanese grass that's in this as well that smells beautiful. There's sandalwood, and it just feels very earthy and grounding, like damp wood and soil, but it's also very refined as well. And I don't know, I think this is perfect like if you have company over. Yeah, super, super, super clean, solid incense. Okay, the other incense that I know has a cult following is the Mad Happy incense. This is really popular in Japan as well, and there are notes of cedar, metal, concrete, fresh air. It's an industrial take on incense rather than like smoky and ancient. It feels, I don't know how to describe this because I would have never gotten this had I not smelled it in the store because they were burning this. And it's, I don't know how to explain it, but it feels like a very cool girl incense that you can burn like when you have people over. Similar to Kaguru, but this is a lot more like traditional incense. This is like clean, like, yeah, clean, cool girl is like what comes to mind with this. But it's also woody and green at the same time. Okay, the last scent thing that I want to mention is from Pura, and I did not want to pull it out of my wall, so I will put a picture right here. I'm obsessed with this. They sent me this, and I would have not bought it had they not sent it to me. But I love the fact that you can make your house smell so good without lighting a candle. There are two little pods that I have loved. One of them is called Sunday Morning from Brooklyn Candle Studio, which has pear, bergamot, jasmine, gardenia, amber woods. It opens up very bright and juicy. There's pear and citrus, and then it's just, there's this very clean floral heart and a warm amber base and a woodiness, and it feels like the perfect signature home type of scent. And the other one that I've really, really enjoyed is this pumpkin spice, or not pumpkin spice, but a pumpkin and black walnut. And I think that Anthropologie makes it, but it smells like freshly baked pumpkin bread with just like a hint of cinnamon and toasted walnuts. I'm so picky with pumpkin, and they did it right. It's probably one of my favorite like pumpkin scents that I've smelled in a really long time. I'm pretty sure, sadly, that I have like grown allergic to the Bath and Body candles. Like, they're very strong, and every time I've tried to light one this year, I'm not having it. Like, my chest starts getting tight, and like my nose starts running, my eyes get itchy, and it's just not fun. But all of these that I've mentioned today seem to be okay. So I don't know if you've ever tried Pura. If you have, and if you enjoy it, let me know. I'm gonna rapid fire the rest of the things on my wish or my favorites list. Starting with this mug. This is actually from my childhood, and there is an artist, her name is Debbie Mum, and my mom used to collect these when I was little. But they have one that has Frankenstein on it. They have one with the witch. I like the cat, of course. And it also has a matching plate, which I love so much. I feel like, I don't know, most of my decorations are from when I was little, and I've just collected them over the years. So my home feels very cozy, but I love these so much. Also from my childhood, these two books. This is from Gooseberry Patch. This again was from my childhood kitchen. And this one, Autumn by Susan Branch. And I love the illustrations in this book. I love the way that like all the recipes are laid out. It's so cozy and comforting. This one is especially, I love. Let me find a good one. Anyways, I'll show you. Let's see. She hand draws everything in her book. Every single thing in here is hand drawn, which I feel like is kind of hard to find these days, but I really, really enjoy this as well. Okay, here's a good one. There's like molasses cookies and different recipes. There's savory and sweet in here, but yeah, there's like handwriting in the book. I love this. Also from my childhood is My Little Ghost. This is from Hallmark, from I think early 2000s. Yeah, I've had her since I was very little. She's very well loved, and she comes out every year, and I put her on my couch. But yeah, she's still kicking. She's in good shape. My brother had this little bear skeleton skull thingy, and I kind of stole it from him. So I have him here too, but this is the ghost of my childhood. I love her a lot. A new acquisition, however, is my Bumbly Bear from Jellycat. He's very cute too. My Jellycat pumpkin. So I decorate with him too. So they're definitely a favorite this month. They spark a lot of joy in my home. Now, from Bath and Body Works, I do love their hand soaps. Melissa actually turned me on to football season, which I never even like thought about trying at all. But this has actually become my favorite hand soap for autumn. Williams-Sonoma makes a really good one called Chestnut, but this is so good. I don't even know if they make it anymore. It has notes of cozy up on the bleachers with a warm flannel, fallen leaves, autumn air. I love it. It's very fresh, very clean, very autumnal. Like, it really does smell like football season. I'm telling you, this was a really good month to find things. Like, this is probably like my biggest monthly favorites. Okay, rapid firing skincare. My dermatologist recommended this to me. It is the TNS serum from Skin Medica. It has changed my skin completely, especially my pores. I'm not going to try and persuade anybody to buy this because it is so expensive, but I'm telling you, like, this changed the game. Now, pores. I'm like on a pores kick this month. The Innisfree No Sebum mineral powder, so good for pores, so good for setting makeup. Blue Mercury was also having a sale, and I really wanted to try their primer. This is fire. Like, this combination for girlies that don't like their pores, this has like changed my skin. Also, I put this on the backs of my hands too, and my hands even look like really youthful. This Sicily lip balm I've been really loving. And then last but not least is, let's see, how do you say? Underpainting. Underpainting has been something that I've been experimenting with this month, and they like recently launched this at Sephora, and I needed I have no brain cells left in my brain, a bronzer, contour, whatever. So I wanted to try this, and I've been obsessed with it. This is Mary Phillips, by the way. It came, like, they sold a brush with this too, but I didn't get the brush. I just used my fingers, but I've been really loving this a lot under my makeup. Last skin thing that has been, again, huge for my skin are these Medicube Zero Pore pads. This was a huge win for me as well. Okay, last category, we have some like snack foods and stuff. First is the Purely Elizabeth Pumpkin Cinnamon Granola, which is perfect in yogurt in the morning. I make a notes app every month for like a monthly favorites list, and Drizzlicious was on there because I love Drizzlicious, and I was gonna feature them, but I ate them all, so I don't have the bag, but that was on there as well. And then also these dark chocolate peanut butter pumpkin stuff. And then last food thing, I actually just went to get another one of these because I baked it and it was so delicious. But this is the apple spiced bread mix from Williams-Sonoma with the apple butter from Williams-Sonoma, which this is delicious. I think it's perfect. It was perfect for September when it's like apple season. Next month, I'm going to try the pumpkin mix, but the apple was perfect for this month. So there is a brand, actually it's a store, they have one in New York and in LA, it's called Kettle, and I got a teapot, a new teapot, and I really like this because on the inside you can see the strainer, so that way if you put loose leaf tea in here, you don't have to mess with like a tea ball or anything like that, and you can just, it's very like ergonomically friendly. I have not opened these yet, but I tried them both in the store. And this is the sobacha, which is like a roasted buckwheat tea, which is good like before bed or after a meal or anytime, really. I love the flavor of this. It's very bready and not sweet, which I love. My other favorite tea is oolong. So this is delicious. I'm obsessed with oolong. It's probably one of my favorite teas ever, and it doesn't mess up my stomach like green tea. So I've been loving this. Okay, last thing. I collect a lot of cookbooks, and I got this Japan cookbook actually from a museum. And I'm obsessed with it. I've actually been reading it. Sometimes I read like the blurbs in cookbooks for comfort, but honestly, every single thing in this book looks incredible, and I can't wait to cook from it. So this is my last favorite. I think this is like the longest favorites that I've ever done, but hopefully there's something in here that sparked interest to you, or at least gave you some comfort if you're watching this on the weekend or on a weekday.